All right. This is good. So today we have a very special episode for our Saturday faithfuls. Welcome back. This is day 43. Am I correct on that?
Yes, you are.
Day 43. So only 17 days remaining. And welcome, welcome, welcome. We have a jam-packed opportunity for you today, actually. And it's a opportunity that we want to make sure you have available to you to increase your real estate investing business. So we'll start off by asking, how's everyone's energy this morning? Type it in the chat, 1 out of 10, or this afternoon, I guess it is. I'm on PST. All right, we got lots of nines and tens. Nines and got an eight, good. Eight, 8.5, 9, 7, 6. I just commend all of you because when you show up, when you don't feel like it, and when you show up like you do, it always continues to improve in some way. You know, the days that I remember reading a book, and I'll share this because it's very interesting to me. The last week in the news has been crazy, as probably everyone here knows. And I'm so grateful to be here. I'm grateful to be alive. I'm grateful that we're blessed. And I have a very firm conviction that while we have no doubt varying views about all sorts of policies and ideas, the fact that any human could celebrate another human being shot at is very despicable in my view. And as I look at this crazy news week, and I begin to see all of the shifts that have happened, my prayer would be that the truth and the light is always revealed, regardless of whether it increases my or continues to promote my views or it decreases to promote my views. It's meaningless to me. I just want the truth to be there. And I'm very excited that as the last crazy week has been, that the truth is continuing to be revealed. And I believe will continue to be revealed. And I share that because here we've built a culture of winning, we've built a culture of gratitude, and we've built a culture of truth. And that's what my desire would be. And I get that I'm not everyone's people. That's okay. And I also get that it's Saturday afternoon and you're hanging out with Leo and I and the team because we are each other's people. And we're grateful to be here. We're grateful to be alive and grateful to have the opportunities to grow a business in spite of a crazy world, in spite of everything that's happening in the news. And as I looked at the news yesterday, getting ready to fly. So obviously, I had to keep up on what was going on so I could make sure that I was in the proper position, the proper place with all of the shutdowns and all the crap that was going on. Looking and going, okay, used to I would have been stressed, going, oh crap, what's going to happen? And now I just was overwhelmed with gratitude, saying, thank you, God, for the opportunities. Thank you, God, that we're all okay. We're all here. And so I just challenge you, in spite of all the crazy news, in spite of all the back and forth, in spite of everything that's happening around us, to continue waking up every day and just be grateful. Continue waking up every day and looking for the opportunity, because there's a lot of people over this shifting market in the next several months who are going to make a ton of money. And we get to choose on what side of that aisle we be on. Are we on the side that says, I'm going to wait, I'm going to hang out and wait until we'll see how everything fares? Are we the one who runs in when everyone else runs out, and we get to be on the side of opportunity? Because we can't really make the change we need to for ourselves, for our country, and for those around us unless we're willing to jump in when everybody else jumps out. So anyway, that's my motivational speech for today. Let's get into some real estate. Who's ready? Everybody ready? Give me a thumbs up. All right, good. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I want to challenge you. How many of you could use some more deals and more funding? Type yes in the chat if you could use more deals and more funding. That's what I'm going to talk about today. If enough of you say yes, give you a moment to say yes. Get your fingers rolling. All right, good. We got a definitely and a yes, definitely. All right, this is good. I'm going to give you some secrets, some strategies I wish I would have known way sooner. I'm going to talk a little bit about funding options. I'm going to talk a little bit about how to get your business funding. In fact, we have in the mastermind David Selvin, who is a funding expert and incredible guy when it comes to knowing business funding and knowing how to set up your entities and your Duns and Bradstreet. Write it down, D&B, if you're not already familiar with it, your Duns and Bradstreet number, so that your entity is a standalone thing. We want to get your business rolling to where it can get funding with or without you. One of my friends recently bought a truck and a commercial building, all on his business funding. No personal guarantee, no personal loan, right? All because he got his entity in place and he set it up properly to where he could gather this funding. All right. So for all of you, I want to make sure you have access to, write this down, unlimited funding options. Now, I say unlimited loosely. It's not truly unlimited, except there is an abundance to go around whenever we step into these opportunities. So it doesn't attach to your personal credit, right? So since it doesn't need to attach to your personal credit, and then this is down the line. Many of you, if you're newer to the business or you've not set up your entity right, it's going to take many months to season to get a business only loans. And so we start out by getting business loans that we as a personal person sign on, saying that we're sure it's going to get paid back, so that in 12 months, 2 years from now, you're looking at me going, dude, I just got 300K business funding without a personal guarantee. All right. So this is future pacing you to what can and will happen as you're building out your companies over these next several months or year. So some of you have already got businesses and probably could get business funding right now. I see in the chat, Paul put the Circle link. So make sure if you're not already in Circle, all of us hang out in there, communicate together, continue to share wins. So make sure you're in there, gathering those assets and using that to your advantage. There's a lot of resources in there for you. And so make sure you're in Circle. That's vital. That's where we continue to communicate even beyond the 60 days. All right. So funding options. There are, write these down. There's a whole lot more than I'm going to talk about today. And in our time together, I'm going to share some of my favorites. There is business lines of credit. Write that down, business lines of credit, which many times can be 0% interest loans for an introductory period of time. Then there are personal lines of credit or personal loans. Number two, those are usually going to be higher interest, especially in today's market. But I want to frame how we think about this money. Starting out in this business, I got some loans that would be perceived as very high interest. But I was okay with that because, write this down, I look at it as bridge funding. Bridge funding is key in this business. So let's say you get a deal come at you. It's a $200,000 house and you get an opportunity to buy it for $50,000. Do you care at that moment whether your business line or personal line of credit is a 21% or 31% or 0%? Well, of course, zero is always better, right? But it really doesn't matter, because if you're buying a $200,000 house for 50, when these opportunities come up and you got that business line sitting there or that personal line sitting there, and now you go swipe that card or you go send that money and you flip that in 30, 60 days, even if your interest is 2 or 3 grand, in return, over here, you got 30, 40 grand you would have never otherwise had. Is this making sense? Give me a thumbs up if this is making sense. All right. So I share this because I don't want you to get caught up on the rates that you get offered if it's funding that you can use to make you more money, right? Whether that be education, whether that be deals, whether that be whatever it is, make sure that you're looking at the bridge loans for what they are. So more money available is always better. And of course, for our community, we partner up, and sometimes we're even willing to write the checks for you. We have no challenge doing that for our community. And we've got lenders in the community as well. And so then next, so there's business lines, there's personal lines or personal loans, and then there is private money. private money, I categorize as a person, an individual who lends you money on a property. Or my favorite, what happens a lot in our community, joint venture private lenders. Joint venture private lenders are amazing because you share in the upside. So that's a huge win. So we're not going to get in too deep with the bank loans. We're not going to get in too deep with all of the other funding options out there. I just want to share with you how we set ourselves up for success. All right. Write this down. You're going to hear me continue to say this as we continue to hang out together. Lead flow is life flow. No leads, no business. I don't care what business you're in. Lead flow is life flow. If you don't have leads, if you're not talking to sellers, if you're not hearing from sellers, you don't have a business, right? If you're selling cars and you don't have people to sell cars to, you don't have a business. So I want to delve in a little bit deeper. As you're looking at this, we have to make smart decisions, right? So when someone gets approved for funding, like myself, I use business funding all the time. When you get approved for funding, sometimes we go to use it to buy leads. And we have this little question mark in our mind. We go to use it to invest, and we have this question mark in our mind. And anytime somebody says to me that it's a high interest rate that a lender is offering them, I ask them, what will you be using the money for, right? If you're using it, the best investment I've ever made is investment in myself. My return on investment in me has been astronomical. The other second best investments I've made have been putting little money into real estate and getting back 2, 3, 5, 10 times the amount in a matter of days, weeks, or a couple months, right? And so when the question mark comes in our mind, the question mark always is either A, are we going to get a return? Or B, do we trust ourselves? That's what it comes down to, right? We know the funding is available and we know we're going to put it somewhere where it's making a return. It doesn't make sense not to have it, right? So I want to share this. This is the foundation. I'm going to give all of you guys the opportunity, even though those, of course, in the community and those even out, to connect with a couple of our favorite funding sources before the end of today and potentially get qualified for business lines of credit. The objective, again, is to continue to give you tools, right? I've had the comment a lot over these 60 days that you give away all the information. And my answer is, of course. That's what we do. We give away the information, we sell implementation. Our community has hired us to guide them in implementing the information they have, right? On the information side, you can learn everything you need to learn for free. You're right about that. And you and I both know that the majority of people are not going to go implement it, or if they do, they're going to make mistakes along the way unless they have that guidance, myself included. That's why I still spend 6 figures a year on investing in continuing to grow myself and my education. So for all of you, make sure that you are looking for leads constantly. Make sure you're looking for funding sources constantly. Every event I go to, I have my eyes and ears open. So you can get paid when you buy a house. Write this down. Deal structure is key. So for any of you who are newer to this business, who haven't yet done a deal or maybe have done a deal or two the traditional route, what's the first thing the bank always wants to know? Do you have 20% down, right? While we do occasionally use a bank on some rare one-off situation, my objective is not to go have to put 20% down on houses. While that is there for you, you get some crazy smoking hot deal that you end up funding with a bank loan and you want to use a business credit line or personal credit line to pay the down payment. That's an option for you. I want all of you to be able to get in these deals and get paid when you buy. Or if you do put out money, that it brings back babies in a few days or a few weeks. Everybody cool with that? Type it in the chat. Yes. Yes. Keep the yeses coming. Make sure everybody is still awake. All right, good. So good seeing all your smiling faces on this Saturday. Another gratitude I have, I've been in Vegas, and it's been well over 100 degrees. And doing the 75 hard, I have to do an outdoor workout every single day for 45 minutes. So I made the not so smart decision yesterday to do my outdoor walk in the middle of the afternoon in Vegas. And that was not a smart decision. So I'm grateful to be in LA now, where the weather is much, much nicer. Everything is a learning moment or a win. There is no losses. I was reminded of something I already know. Do my outdoor workouts early in the morning. I done my indoor workout in the morning. I should have flipped it. So for all of you, it's simple to be able to restructure our life, right? Just like I just shared that with you. I could have got angry and said, why is it so darn hot? Right? Except I look and I go, okay, what's the smart thing I could have done? I should have and will next time flip it. Simple shift, right? It's just thinking ahead. And the same thing happens whenever we're talking about structuring deals. We can look at the deal and go, crap, they want money. Crap, why does it go this way? Why does all my people want money down? Why is nobody motivated? We can look at it that way, or we can realize, hey, I've been talking to sellers who aren't motivated. How do I find more motivated sellers? I've had to come out of pocket on every single deal. Something I hear and I see people getting paid to buy deals. How can I restructure the deal to be able to get paid when I buy the deal? Right? How can I write this down? There's now money and there's later money. There's now money and later money. Now, this is why this is so important, because most people spend their entire life on now money only and stay broke their entire life. A few people, myself included in 2015, spent too much of my time on later money and about went broke for now money. So we have to figure out how to balance the two. The faster we can make now money. So what I did is I said, okay, I need to get to $10,000 a month. Once you establish the skill that gets you to $10,000 a month, that's now money. That's calling and wholesaling the deal. That's calling, buying the house. That's calling and getting the title. That's now money. That's things you're doing now that directly lead to a near immediate check. As soon as we get that done, now we shorten the time. We go, all right, I've done it in the first 30 days of the month. Could I do it in the first 20 days next month? And then I have 10 days to pursue later money, right? Could I do it in the first 10 days of the month, get to my 10K? And then I have the rest of the month to pursue later money. This is just how my brain works. If so, this more I can shorten the time to get my now money done. It has nothing to do with time. That's the beautiful thing. And that's the thing that screwed with my head so much when I started this game. I was used to going out and accomplishing a task for a certain amount of time that then rewarded me a certain reward. And to shift this and say, I literally could negotiate a deal on the first day of the month that makes me 30K for the month. And I got 29 days to get to my later money. It's literally that shift. So go, how do I shorten the path to find that motivated seller sooner in the month, to make sure I have the funding sooner in the month so I can pursue the later money? This is the framework of deal structuring. This is the framework of how I think constantly so I can write this, borrow against my future. Now, if Dave Ramsey's tuning in, we're in trouble. Otherwise, we're good. What do I mean by borrow against my future? I mean, every one of us have a bridge to cross. We spend our entire business life crossing a bridge. The first bridge is crap. I need the help. I need the guidance. But how do I get from where I am to get the guidance? I need a deal to get the guidance. I need a guidance to get the deal. For me, I bridge that gap by borrowing against my future. Another way that we borrow against our future, write this down, add value to the marketplace. I would rather have 50% of 20 deals than 100% of 2. Another way I learned to borrow against my future was to sell a portion, and I'm just going to use the number half for simplicity, sell half of my deals to a partnership. Years ago, I needed to get the cash in the door. I said, okay, I'm spending too much of the month getting my now money in. How do I flip this? I met a partner who had an abundance of funds, but not time. Remember how I said we either invest time or money? So we could spend years learning, or we can invest money and learn much sooner. We can spend years putting together deals and having 10 deals in 10 years, or we can shortcut that by finding someone who has the capital but needs help getting deals in. So I said, okay, we'll call him Mr. Bill. I said, okay, Mr. Bill, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sell properties. I'm going to buy this house. Let's say I buy it for 100 grand, debt takeover. I'm going to sell this 100 grand house to our partnership for 8 grand. Now, am I giving away a substantial amount of profit? Yes. But what does that 8 grand do to my company over here? It gives me the ability to continue marketing, to continue paying all the bills, the office expense, and everything while I am continuing to buy cash flowing assets and keep 50% ownership. Is this making sense? All right. I'm getting lots of yeses, mostly yeses. So for all of you, I want to inspire you to think of the framework of deal structures. All right. So I'm gonna share with you exactly what I did right here, and then we're gonna get back to funding. So imagine you have $100,000 business line of credit. Imagine you get a deal and it needs $10,000 down. You can pull $10,000 off of this business line of credit. You can buy this house, owner financed, if it's a great deal. For those of you in the community, you know what that is. And of course, we help you with that. And then you sell it on lease option. You get back the same amount or even more down, or even a little less. We don't know till we get it. And then you have a cash flowing assets that you're in for possibly a net zero, maybe positive up front, maybe zero up front, maybe a couple thousand up front. You don't know until your tenant buyer comes along. Now you have this asset that you borrowed against money. The thing that shifted for me was realizing it's all fake anyway. The government's printing more all the time. And when you learn, write this word down, leverage, everything will change for you. Could we all be Dave Ramsey and save ourselves to wealth over the next 48 years? Maybe, if you make enough money. That plan sucks because I would be old. So I want all of you to know how to use leverage to your advantage. So either short-term funding or low interest, long-term loans on real estate. For example, debt takeovers, right? So finding deals by the dozens. Let's just say we have 4 deals a month coming in. Let's say they, on average, to close them, because most of them are nothing down, but there's closing costs. Let's say on average to close those 4 deals, you're out 4 grand a piece, 4 times, and marketing. 1, 2, 3, 4 grand a piece. 4 times 4 is what? 16K a month. You're out. Now you're adding these properties to your portfolio, but you're going, crap, now I got to go over here and sell them to make sure that I'm getting my 4 grand back with profit to make sure that I can grow. So instead, I said, I'm going to give away half. For example, these 4 deals, I'm going to give away half ownership of these deals to a partnership. The partnership pays me $8,000 every time I close a deal and it takes ownership. So now I'm putting out 4, for example, to get 8 back and keep half of the deal. So now my growth just became unlimited. Type it in the chat, unlimited growth. That's what I want all of you to step into, unlimited growth. That is how you're going to leverage your way to unlimited growth. No matter what position you're in. It can be business lines of credit. It can be partnerships. It can be private money. It can be whatever it is. You just have to know your value to the marketplace and be able to offer it in that way. That's why inside the community, I'm constantly partnering people up. I'm constantly connecting people because some of you are great on the phones. You just need more and better leads. Some of you have a substantial amount of money and credit available to you. You just struggle to find time to call them. And others of you, I love you. Just avoid doing the calls because you don't want to do calls. And if that's you, I can relate. I did too. All right. So unlimited growth is going to be key. Write this down. You teach what you most need to learn. You teach what you most need to learn. So what happens is, for all of you, as you team up, the thing you're avoiding now becomes exciting. I remember in 2015, I had gotten tired of doing my own calls. I was dreading the calls. I hated the calls, Tim. I did not want to talk to people. I was getting too many no's. I was stressed the heck out until I found someone to add to my team to help me close deals. Then it went from being crappy, I got to go do my calls and get another deal, to exciting because me and Josh would be in a competition. So now Josh is calling and closing deals with or without me, and I get to hop in and add value in training him to become better on the phones. The moment that happens for you, many of our community are experiencing this right now. The moment that happens for you, your deal flow increases greatly. Ahmed and Derek are in a competition right now. One of them in the next few weeks is coming to Vegas with me. They're both excited to come to Vegas with me. We're getting a lot of deals contracted this month, and we're having a lot of fun doing it. We're having meetings all the time. And I was teasing. I texted Derek, and he had a deal that he was helping me. I threw it over to him because I was at a meeting, and we closed the deal. First time, by the way, I closed the deal over text only because they refused to get on the phone. And so Derek took it over for me, and gets credit for that. I texted Ahmed that afternoon and I said, what can I do to help you win this competition? And I think he was insulted. He said, I don't need your help, brother. I'm going to win this. And I texted him. I said, oh, I'm not just offering help to you. I just helped Derek on a deal too. I'm helping both of you guys. I'm playing both sides here. Why? Because we're having fun. We're in it together anyway. Shoot, at the end of the day, we hit a certain number. We may just all go to Vegas, but we have fun doing it. So that's the objective, right? We want to be able to future pace ourselves, find out how to make ourselves work. I don't feel like I'm working. I hop on and hang out with Derek and Ahmed, and we have an awesome time, and we contract fun deals. That is what's enjoyable to me. If I was in the office alone, pounding out calls, I would be bored out of my freaking mind. I was made for partnership. I was made to build business together. That's how I roll. That's how my psyche works. All right, so funding. Funding is the key to your unlimited growth. So for all of you who need more funding in your business, I'm going to give you that opportunity right now. So I'm going to have you to text the word funding to 502-677-4976. There you go. Paul just put the number in. Text the word funding to that number, and we will put you. We have actually 3 funding teams who do business credit lines, and we will put you with the team that we believe can get you the most funds. And it's a soft inquiry only, so you will not get a ding on your credit. You will be able to. They'll tell you what you're pre-approved for. They'll say, "Hey, Tim, I can get you 30 grand. I can get you 80 grand. I can get you 70 to 120 if they're not 100% sure the exact." So text the word funding. Funding is not committing to apply for the funding. Texting the word funding is just saying you want to hear more about it. And next week, they'll be reaching out to you. They'll be connecting with you and finding out if they can get you funding and how much they can get you. They have a lot of options available. So let's get to some questions. Text the word funding to 502-677, whatever that number is. All right. We're getting some fundings in the chat. Thank you for that. But just to clarify, you have to text it in because the chat will not get you the response, will not get the team. The team's only getting it through the text. So text that number right there. Questions. Let's get to questions real quick before we wrap up the
All
amazing
right.
day 42.
Well, first question today comes from our Boss
43.
Slow Mastermind member, Veronica. I love how she said, I'm staying positive despite some challenges. And that's one thing life is going to guarantee you is challenges. So I love that, Veronica. Her question is, I ordered my for sale signs. What should my pointer sign say?
Your pointer sign should say lease. Well, first off, your front yard sign should say lease to own or rent to own, your own beautiful home, bad credit, okay. So the lease to own or rent to own's in real big letters. It looks ugly, handwritten black. And then the middle is the same ugly handwritten font, but it's smaller. And then the phone number at the bottom, your Pat Life phone number in great big ugly handwritten looking letters. The pointer signs, we do 18 by 24. We do 2 arrows per pointer sign. And my favorite way is to have a pointer sign. They're 18 by 24. We cut them in half. So you get 2 9 by 24 pointer signs out of each sign. And then we get the H stakes, the wire stakes, and we put a big lease to own your own beautiful home, bad credit, okay, phone number in the ground. And then on top of that, we get another little H stake, and the arrow just sits right on top of your lease to own home. So there's only arrows on the pointers.
All right. Our next question today comes from Jerry. He says, I have an opportunity to refi one of my properties to pull some cash out of the equity. That, of course, will raise the monthly cost, the interest rate, and cost me some points. But I could really use the funds right now to pay off some debt. Do you recommend this almost like a Burr method or not?
So I personally have refied many millions of dollars of properties with non-personally guaranteed debt. Non-personally guaranteed debt. If you're going to refi one property and pull out cash and personally guarantee the debt, I can't advise you on what to do on that without knowing the facts, but I would look at it. I go, okay, number one, what's my current interest rate and how much am I giving up for as far as paying more interest? Number two, how much cash does it put in my pocket? I'll give you an example. If I have an opportunity to refi $100,000 house and pull out 20, but it's going to raise my interest rate and make my cash flow go bye-bye, that's probably not going to be a smart idea. But let's say I have an opportunity to take out a $20,000 low interest loan. So I'm not even saving that much on interest because it's so tiny. And I could pull out 100. And that 100, I know I could put down payments on a couple of houses. I know I could pay for marketing. I know I could pay off a 35% credit card loan over here. Then that's probably something I would do. So write down exactly what you're accomplishing and look at it objectively.
Okay, next question here comes from Amy. She says, what type of business structure is needed for the funding?
So like I said, they have options for personal, and then while you build your business credit, or they have business options if you have an LLC that you sign on as personal, and then if you have a established long-term LLC, then they can potentially even just do the business. So they're going to look at you, number one, tell you what you're pre-approved for, and then number two, of course, look at your business structure, and you'll be able to get that exact answer from them. Because until they see your whole structure, we really don't know that answer. I hope that answers your question.
All right. We did have a few other questions which kind of are similar to that. Do I need an LLC? Do you need to have a legal business to get this funding? Will the funding work if you are okay? So any comments on those LLC or having a legal
Yeah,
business?
all of you should have an LLC. In fact, Michelle, if you don't mind, note down that we give them next week, and we can put it in circle now, but the link to get their LLCs created for our discount, we'll do that next week. So make sure you're back. And as far as the setting it up, you're going to need it anyway. So you should sooner than later, right? And you can possibly get funded on the personal side if you don't have an LLC. If you would like to have additional funding at your fingertips, regardless of whether you have an entity or not, you should go ahead and text funding to that number, and they will tell you what they can qualify you for and in what capacities. So that would just be specific questions for them. Again, if you need funding of some sort, fill it out, and then they can tell you, hey, and of course, you don't have to take it. You can just say, cool, I'm glad to know what I'm approved for. And most of you, like myself, will want to take that and gain access to additional funding.
Okay, next question here comes from Teresa Johnson. She says, will the funding work if you are rebuilding credit and don't have an LLC yet?
Very possible. If your score is in the 400s, it's highly unlikely. If your score is in the sixes or seven, it's highly likely. There's some mid ranges there that are up for question, but then there's very specific things. So I've seen people with strong business income and low credit get approved. I've seen people with strong personal income and new business or no business get approved, and everywhere in between. So just fill it out. Again, no ding on your credit, and they'll tell you what they can or can't do.
All right. I did see an awesome post here from Bill Welsh. He says, great news. I'm signed up for Truca. My hotel and flights are booked. So awesome job, Bill. Excited to meet you in person, as is Andrew and Leo. And yeah, shout out on that. We sold out of all of our discounted rooms. So we reopened it. But I believe the few additional rooms we've added will be gone. That will be closed by Monday. So definitely get your discounted room and, of course, get your tickets if you don't already have them.
Absolutely. If you don't mind, put that ticket and discount code in the chat, please, Paul. That's a great point. We did run out of room. We have extended the room, and you got about 48 hours left for the discount. Of course, after that, you can still get a room. It's just going to cost you more. And why pay more if you don't have to? All right. Get your tickets now. Get your rooms this weekend, and get the text out funding to the number we put in the chat there. And if you don't mind, Paul or Michelle, please also put that funding number in the replay chat, so anyone listening will have that opportunity. All right, we're going to put this up for you guys. Anything you need, let us know. We'll see you. No event tomorrow. Remember, we're back Monday, same place, same time. It's going to be a jam-packed week ahead. We have exciting opportunities for you, potential for you to, well, a whole lot that I'm not going to get into. The point is, we have great guests. You're going to hear from Ahmed. You're going to hear from Derek as they battle it out to the end to see who's going to Vegas. And you're going to hear from our great friend. Well, I'm going to leave that one a surprise for you, who I'm here with today. You're going to hear from more attorneys, actually a title attorney you're going to hear from next week, and a whole bunch of other special guests we have up. And of course, yours truly, and your favorite Leo Valentino. All right. Much love to all of you. I'll see you next week, Monday, same place, same time. Bye for now, guys.